Welcome to ModPath Chat, the official podcast of modern pathology, featuring interviews with authors and experts on the latest science, technology, and developments in the field of pathology. Your host, Dr. George Netto, is the editor-in-chief of Modern Pathology and the chair of pathology at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Here's Dr. Netto.
Welcome to a new episode of ModPath Chat. My guests today are Dr. Chen Teng and Dr. Jinsung Liu from the Department of Pathology at the MD Anderson Cancer Center. Dr. Deng is an associate professor of pathology. His subspecialty expertise is in breast pathology, and he's also a co-director of the Institutional Tissue Bank. Dr. Liu is a senior professor and an expert in GYN pathology research, and they're both here today to discuss their group's recent publication in Modern Pathology about some exciting new marker that can help us in lineage assignment of certain tumors. And specifically, it's about SOX17 as a marker of ovarian, a good marker for ovarian and endometrial carcinoma. So thank you both for accepting my invitation. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Netto.
Thank you, Dr. Netto. Thank you, Ching. And I'm glad that we team up together to talk to Dr. Netto about our new recent papers in modern pathology. So the story started approximately like 1.5 years ago when Ching knocked on my office. I said, Dr. Liu, you are expert in GYN. There might be a marker, and then, which is good for the GYN. I said, yeah, sure. I'm doing a lot of research, but I haven't, pay attention to markers. And Jing said, to look at the TCGA, there's a very, very good markers, very, very specific, and on the TCGA data at the mRNA levels. So, are you interested? We can team up to, test this. Because I have a research laboratory full running, although I didn't work on this marker. I look at the data. I talked to Ching. I said, and it looks good. Let's try it. Okay, so Ching, that's how we started.
Yes, this is the story we started.
Yeah. So and also my lab has a full made up of the TMA because up to thousands of the ovarian cancer TMAs, everything made up already, so it's ready to go. And also, we checked the company, and then the company actually do have a few antibodies. So I asked my assistant to order those antibodies and start test those in the lab. And then actually it turns out, initial testing of the antibody was, very, very amazing, specific, because we have seen so many different antibodies. Everybody say it's good antibody, and it turns out when you test in the lab, it's just garbage. But it turns out this one was a very lucky one from initial testings.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. So so it makes sense because clearly, we all been using PAX8 as a marker for these tumors, and clearly the specificity is an issue because renal cell and others, thyroid do express PAX8. So it will be a welcome news to have a marker that is even more specific. So how did you go about doing the study? You mentioned you have TMAs. So how many cases did you use for this specific study?
We had, quite a lot of cases and several hundreds of ovarian cancer. And then, in fact, we started, to demonstrate this a specific marker, we really need other TMA markers. Turns out, Ching did a wonderful study on the breast cancer cell markers and had some other TMA, and we can test the specificity. Maybe, Ching, you can mention about a few sentences about your marker on the breast cancer and how that help our current studies.
So totally we used around 2,000 tumor cases from multiple tissue organ because we analyzed TCGA database. TCGA database has gene expression information of more than 20,000 tumor cases for more than 30 tumor types. we just check that gene highly expressed in the ovary tumor and the endometrial tumor, but not in other tumor. So this is the same story like we just identified another breast marker, TRPS1. I think TRPS1 right now widely used in not just America, is also in Europe or in Asia, in China, India.
Excellent.
So we found that SOX17 is only highly expressed in the ovary and the endometrial. If compared with the Paxade is also highly expressed in the renal cell carcinoma and the thyroid. So we think this SOX17 may be a possible marker for gynecologic tumor, but this is just mRNA level. So we needed to confirm the protein level with the immunohistochemical study. We tested around 2,000 cases.
Excellent. So I just want to clarify to the audience. So the breast marker that you mentioned, which is in a similar way, you go for the messenger, you look at the TCGA, and you see what messenger marker is expressed, messenger RNA, and you see switch it to try to find an antibody, and it's the TRPS1 that's now we're using a lot for breast, especially triple negative, where we had some problems with the initial old markers. So that's great, and this is a pathway for many other discoveries, and what a great story here. That paper was also published in Modern Pathology in 2021. So clearly, we're happy you're so prolific, and that's why we're here. So it looks like for this particular study, your team had over 416 cases for ovarian and endometrial, and you included 1,544 cases from the other organs to demonstrate specificity. And it looks like you've got some very strong results. Can you, one of you, just mention briefly the sensitivity and specificity figures and the differential here?
Changing maybe, I will start first. Okay, maybe you can.
So for the we test around 270 serous tumor, including serous tumor, ovarian tumor, including serous tumor, mucinous tumor, endometrioid, and the clear cell, and also carcinosarcoma. For the serous tumor, SOX17 and the Paxade both expressed in more than 97%, so has similar sensitivity. And for the clear cell carcinoma, and also for the mucinous carcinoma or endometrioid carcinoma, they also express similar. For serous carcinoma, for the clear cell carcinoma is also 100%. Endometrioid carcinoma is 90%. The difference is for the mucinous carcinoma. SOX17 does not express in the mucinous carcinoma, but Paxade expressed around 1/3 of mucinous carcinoma. For the carcinosarcoma, SOX17 and the Paxade express also similar. They express in the carcinoma component, but not in the sarcoma component. So this is for the ovary tumor. And excellent. Also, for the endometrial tumor, the result is also similar. The SOX17 and Paxade expressed around 90% for endometrioid carcinoma, but for clear cell carcinoma and also serous carcinoma, they are 100%.
Wow.
Okay. Well, probably, I think besides the sensitivity and the specificity of this marker, and then this is very important in the differential diagnosis of serous carcinoma versus mesothelioma, because peritoneal mesothelioma is one of the major diagnostic challenges in ovarian cancer biology. It turns out, these only pick up a serous carcinoma, not a mesothelioma, and then in all the tests we examined, because this is going to be can be a real problem if in the past at the panels. So if we add this marker for the panel to distinguish of the mesothelioma from serous carcinoma, this marker add a lot of sensitivity, specificity to the diagnosis of serous carcinoma.
You've done, so I imagine there's no lack of mesotheliomas in your institution. You've done a lot of mesothelioma because just a word of caution, usually, markers in the beginning, after several studies, few things change. And there is another study in modern past showing SOX17 utility that so far is coinciding with you. But this will be great news because these are difficult questions, and especially tumors of unknown origin, or like you said, in the setting where you have studying of the mesothelial cavity, and you're trying to know what is it exactly, ovarian versus mesothelioma. So just to emphasize, in case the audience don't miss out, for the ovarian, all subtypes with the exception of mucinous, this marker was 0% expressed in mucinous tumors. PAX8 is still in a minority, 27%. So neither one really is a good marker for mucinous, and that's not extremely surprising. So it looks like these are very, very strong data. And so have you started using this in your practice?
Yes. MD Anderson has started this. I have been ordering routinely since before even what published, before official published, because modern pathology took us like 6 months to publish this. So we have started to use this much earlier.
Here we go. That's, we try our best. Clearly, our transition from Springer Nature to Elsevier has caused a little bit of hiccups, but we're ready to rock and roll. And hopefully, for your next study, you won't take that long. I love it. No break, none whatsoever, for us. But we love our authors and our audience, and we want you always to keep us on our toes and help us even get better. So,
I just want to mention we were first presenting this data at the USCAP conference almost a year ago.
Right.
Okay. So, and then, the news got spread out, and, we are studying, but, somehow the papers got delayed. But anyway. Okay.
But this is, as we're speaking, we're heading next week to USCAP, and we welcome your fellows to come and visit with the editors. We have a new editor also for our sister journal, and we're planning on going through abstracts and inviting people to publish with us. This is the home of USCAP, right? And we're very excited. So I'm glad to see that this was an abstract in USCAP and ended up in our great journal. So thank you very much, both. This has been very enjoyable, and please keep such studies coming. And it's been a pleasure to have you as my guest today.
Okay, thank you.
Any opinions expressed in this podcast are the speaker's own and do not represent the views of Modern Pathology, Springer Nature, UAB, or USCAP. Your ModPath Chat host and scientific director is Dr. George Netto. Producers are Christina Crow, Amber Jackson, Dr. Sarah Jang, and Dr. Catherine Ketchum. Technical direction is provided by Kaminsky Productions, music by Mitch Neubauer. Thanks to the authors, reviewers, and editors of Modern Pathology for making this podcast possible.